Hi guys, I'm Chantel and welcome back to my channel. Now today I want to talk about TBR games, and I want to give you some different options of great TBR games that I've been seeing online in the last while, and I would love your opinion on maybe which one of these I should try in the upcoming months when I pick my TBRs. Now I've been using my TBR cart and my Care Bear cards, which were actually just regular playing cards that I added different prompts to. I've been using this to create my TBRs for the last 6 months or so, and I have a lot of fun picking my TBR. It really pushes me out of my comfort zone and often has me picking up books that I would just completely avoid if I hadn't picked it. Like if you saw my recent TBR for the month of July, I wasn't a huge fan of at least one of those books that was put on the TBR, but I'm glad that I bought the book, so now I'm actually going to read it. But I thought I would try something a little different in the next few months, and maybe instead of doing the cards where I just pick a random card, I want to try one of these games that I see people doing online. I really enjoy watching TBR games because I love the creativity. I love seeing what people choose off of their cart. Honestly, there's some people that I'm subscribed to that I just watch their TBR games every month, and they don't even read the same kind of books that I do, but I just love seeing what the prompt makes them pick up off of their cart or their shelf or whatever. So I thought today I would share some of the more popular games that I have seen. Actually, that's not even true. Some of these are not very popular, but maybe some of the more creative games that I've seen, and I will leave a list below sharing just some of the people that I've seen doing these games. I'm not really gonna put a whole lot of effort in and list every single person that's doing these games, but I will share one person for each of these games that I'm gonna share here. So this first one was actually my first introduction into the world of TBR games, and that is the Wheel of TBR. Now this is one where you spin the wheel, and whatever prompt it lands on is what you have to choose. So really in many ways it's no different than picking a card out of my little deck of cards. But there is something interesting about seeing the wheel spin and maybe hoping it's not going to land on a certain prompt or hoping it will land on a certain one. So that is one of the ideas on this list, the very first one I'm going to share. The next one is Bookopoly. And this is a spin-off of Monopoly where you go around the board, and depending what you roll, that will kind of help you decide which prompt that you're going to choose from.
So without further ado, let us get into our first roll. First roll. A double six. A chance card. City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty.
Then I've also seen categories used as a game. Now I know I have seen some people just roll the dice and get a book off of their to-read shelf based on the letter that is rolled, so then they pick a book that starts with that letter. But I have also seen some people that also have included some prompts along the way too. So if they roll the letter S and they pick a random number and it generates the number 25, which means they have to pick a fantasy book. Then they have to pick a fantasy book that starts with S. That one to me seems very hard to find a book. My TBR shelf and cart, I have more books than just what are on my cart, but my cart holds about 65 books. So for me to find a fantasy book that would start with S, for instance, that would be really hard. But I like the idea of rolling the dice and picking a book based on a letter. But also at the same time doesn't quite offer enough creativity from my personal taste, but that is one option.
I folded these terribly in the fact that so many of them get stuck together. All right, a book with an illustrated cover. I have a bunch of those. I have some arcs with those, so let's pick a letter. All right, so let's pick a letter. Seriously?
Then we have TBR Pursuit. Now I've watched a number of different months of this being played, and it looks like a lot of fun, usually. Same with the prompts, the cards. Sometimes you get things you don't want to necessarily have to deal with, but that's okay. That pushes us out of our comfort zone, makes us read books that we would have just put off.
So shall we just get on with it? I think we should. Right, off you go. Right, so we are all set up and ready to go. So let's have roll number 1. 2. At this point, I can go anywhere, and I normally start with middle grade, but I feel like starting with an adult fantasy this time, just because I know there's a couple I want to get to. So, 1, 2, purple adult fantasy. Will I regret this? Name a book over 500 pages.
Then I've also seen a version of TBR Trouble. I don't remember 100% how this one all worked, but the game Trouble, where they've got like the dice in the bubble thing that you have to push down and then you work your way around. But there's only 4 colors in Trouble, so I'm not sure 100% how that would work very well, but I would be interested in hearing ideas on that. Then there's a whole bunch of people that have taken Candyland and turned it into a game. So for Candyland, you draw a card which has a color block on it. So let's say if it was red, then you have red mean some kind of genre or some kind of prompt. And then sometimes they have double. So a card will have 2 squares with 2 different colors. So then you have to pick 2 books for that card. We used to have Candyland. It's a really good game to introduce kids to, like taking turns and moving along a board, but ooh, that is a painful game. So something Candyland with a book twist sounds a lot more interesting to me.
I'm going to jump right on in with the TBR and let's go! So the first spin actually brought me to a double blue, which means the second blue square on the board. And blue is also a prompt for a 5-star prediction, which again, the little color chart will be accompanied to help you guys along.
A really fun one that I recently saw was the idea of a Ticket to Read, which is a play off of Ticket to Ride. I only watched a little bit of a video on this, so I'm not 100% sure how it all works. But I thought that was a creative twist on the game.
Okay, the first ticket ring route that I have here is, oh, random number generator. So the first ticket ring route that I have here is the random number generator. That would mean I would have to pick 1 through how many books I own and then pick a book from there. So I have a random app which has different generators, so I'm not gonna do a recording on my phone, so I'm just gonna generate. So let's see which number they'll get.
One thing that does kind of bother me when people do game, like something where they have a game board and they have it laid out, is they will roll, like do all their rolls ahead of time, film that ahead of time, and then come back and tell you what they chose for their roll. And I think for me, one of the fun things about choosing my TBR is the humming and hawing that goes on that I share on my videos. So if I did some kind of game like a TBR Pursuit or a wheel, not the wheel, but Bookopoly or something where you had to be filming from above, I think I would just have like 2 cameras going. That way you can film from above, I can show clips of what I'm rolling, but then also show the humming and hawing that goes on. That's just kind of an idea that I have. So I believe that was 7 different ideas that I shared. I think there's like positives and negatives to all the different ones. The wheel of TBR sounds cool because you could put it up, but you have to figure out how to have it up. And you could really only have so many options around the wheel or else it would look funny. Some of them you have to film from above. Either way, you'd pretty much have to make a board, which I'm totally fine with doing. But I would love your opinions. If you have watched other TBR game videos, which ones are your favorite to watch? I think maybe what I will do is, I don't know, first of all, I want to hear your opinions, and for either August or September, I want to try one of these games out. And depending how that goes, I might try like a completely different one the next month. Or if I like it, maybe I'll try that one again. But I would love to hear your thoughts on TBR games. Do you like watching those videos? Is there a certain kind you like? And if you participate or make your TBR by using a game, I would love to hear about it.